Hello, my friends from St. Mary's Home. It's Josée from SMH. I wrote another story for you all by myself. And as you can tell, it's about a mouse. So let's start. Once upon a time, there was a tiny little mouse. And this mouse was so small and so delicate that everyone thought he could not do anything for himself. One day, he was playing and wanted to get his puzzle off the shelf. But his sister said, "No, you are too small and you cannot reach." Little Mousy Mouse said, "Yes, it is true. I cannot reach the puzzle when it's up high, but if you put it on a lower shelf, then I can reach it all by myself." "No," said his sister, "I will get the puzzle for you." Then at supper, he wanted to eat his broccoli, but his brother said, "No, the broccoli is too big for your little mouth. And you are too young to use a knife, so I will cut it for you." Little Mousy Mouse said, "You are right. I am too young to use a knife, but I can use the side of my fork and cut it myself, or I can pick up the broccoli with a fork and eat it like this. Yum, 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 yum." But his brother said, "No, you are too little. I will cut it for you." Whenever he went to school, his friends would carry all his books for him. Then one day, Little Mousy Mouse said, "I can carry my own books." But his friend said, "No, you are too little and too weak to carry your books. You are not strong like us." Little Mousy Mouse said, "You are right. I am not strong enough to carry all my books, but I am strong enough to carry one book by myself." But his friend said, "No, we are going to carry the books for you." So his friend continued to carry all his books for him. And because everyone kept telling the little mouse that he was too small and too delicate to do anything by himself, he started to believe it. So when he was in school and his teacher was showing everyone how to tie their shoes, Little Mousy Mouse did not think he could do it. He thought his little fingers were too small to hold the laces. And he was also afraid that he would not be able to learn how to tie his shoes. So when his teacher brought him the shoes and laces to practice, Little Mousy Mouse told her, "I cannot tie my shoes. These fingers are way too tiny for the laces, and I'm afraid I won't be able to do it." But the teacher told him that she had brought extra small laces just for him, and even though they might be a little big for his tiny fingers, she would help him, and she would stay with him to show him how to tie the shoes until he could do it all by himself. But the little mouse still did not even want to try. He thought to himself, "Everyone tells me that I'm too small and too delicate to do anything by myself. Plus, my family always ties my shoes for me, and I really am too small and afraid to do this by myself. So I will let others keep tying my shoes until I get bigger." Then at recess, he went outside, but one of his friends fell. Oh no! But he knew exactly what to do. He knew that he should not move her in case she was hurt, and if he moved her, he might hurt her even more. So he told another friend to stay with her while he went to get a grown-up. He went and got a teacher to come over to help his friend, and the teacher took care of her. Then the teacher told Little Mousy Mouse that he did exactly the right thing. When his friend was hurt, he did not move her, and he went to get a grown-up. "Good job, Little Mousy Mouse." And his friend said, "You are right. You can do things all by yourself. Just because you are small and delicate does not mean that you always need our help. And it does not mean that you cannot do anything by yourself." And the friend also said, "I still want to help you, but I will ask first if you need it." That made the little mouse so happy. Now he knew he could do something all by himself, and he was a big help to his friend. So when he went back inside, he asked his teacher if she could show him how to tie his shoes, because he really wanted to try. Isn't that wonderful, my friends? Yes, it is. He wanted to try now. Now his hands were tiny, and he did have a little trouble with his laces, but with the help of his teacher, he was able to tie his shoes, and after practicing, he was able to tie his shoes all by himself. Isn't that wonderful, my friends? Yes, it is. He believed in himself and he was able to tie his shoes all by himself. Then, going home after school, he was able to carry one book all by himself while his friends carried the other ones. Then, when he got home, he told his family everything he had done all by himself. And his family was so proud of him. So that evening, when he wanted to play with his puzzle, his sister moved it from the top to the bottom shelf so he can reach it himself. And then his brother even let him use his fork to cut his own broccoli. But he was still too weak, so instead he used his fork and he ate his broccoli like this. Yum, 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 yum. And now that the others knew that, even though he was small and delicate, there were things that he could do all by himself. So they did let him try. But they were always careful to make sure that he did not get hurt. And he too was always careful because even though he could do some things by himself, he was still too small and delicate, and he did not want to get hurt. And don't you forget that you should always be careful not to get hurt. And now it's time for me to go eat my broccoli. Yum, 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 yum. And you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye, my friends. Bye. Have a wonderful day.